see. Okay, ancient spirit guide, guardian angels, etc., etc. May this show be happily decent, like it was a couple of days ago. May the dislikers find some karma for the damage that they do to people's lives. Okay, so hi guys, hello, me to everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and of course today is Friday, and we have Donald Trump has declared a national emergency regarding COVID-19. That's the big one for today. Cruise companies, major cruise lines have, as of midnight tonight, will be ceasing all cruise operations for the next 30 days. That's President Trump. We have disruptions at Costco's and Sam's Clubs across the United States over everything from people getting nervous and people touching their shopping carts to basically buying up all the toilet paper in town. The insistent of buying bidets and searching on YouTube or Google for bidets that determine if a bidet is a worthwhile investment. Yes, we are. At least, unless he comes up and has another sock puppet account. And in that case, we are going to send him packing. That's the big thing right there. It's about the COVID-19. The fact that the soup kitchen itself has decided to enable or to do its own changes as a precaution of closing the dining room. So when you go to the soup kitchen now, you'll be getting a takeout meal out a window and you will be taking it home to eat. Well, that's fine if you have access. I finally got it, Miss Cat. Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. Gonna have to know. Just trying to get off Fame's big matted fur ball. Hey, Fame. You want? I know it hurts. Oh man. All right. I know, right? Okay. I'm just trying to get this. Okay. And I gotta drag it all over the floor. He's got this big man fur ball on his chest. I'm trying to get it out. Please don't forget to put a like in the like jar. It's not gonna cost anything. Also, you'll notice I changed the equalization on the microphones to remove the boominess of the microphone. The reason was apparently the boominess was causing the closed caption decoder to get really confused. And so I figured turn off the bass and see if we can keep the treble up and the mid-range up and make my voice a little bit more well balanced. The problem with the microphone here and my lapel here is this microphone is very sensitive to the low end because it's close to my chest. So when I speak in this microphone, it actually picks up the sound on my chest and the cavity in my chest, and it just makes it bassy. So I just figured turn off the mic, turn off the bass, and see if we can get to at least sound less boomy. Okay. Now, so everybody keeps talking about COVID-19, and everybody seems to act like it's like the bubonic plague. Guys, first of all, the COVID-19 is not necessarily a death sentence. I know that some people have been saying, once you get it, you're gonna die. Some people get it, and it's just like the cold, and they get a fever and a headache for 2 days or for 2 weeks, and then they're cured. Then talking about how long the virus will remain airborne for 3 hours, and will live on plastic surfaces for 2 weeks, which is true. It will. But right now, I don't think we need to blow this out of proportion as far as preparations go. Clearly in areas where high population density is an issue, yes, it is a problem because you got a lot of people in close proximity. It's the same thing with the flu. Got a lot of people in close proximity, a lot of people sneezing, coughing, people going to work when they should be staying home, complaining that if they don't go to work, they don't get fired, or they're not going to get paid. It's true that in the United States, most companies only give you about 6 to 10 sick days with paid sick days. So, yeah, this thing could be a problem if you want your paid sick days. Of course, it's not a holiday, so it's not like if you're going to be in a quarantine that you're going to be able to take and say to your company, I'm taking my paid holiday while I'm sitting in my apartment or home, coughing and snorting and fevering and shaking and basically feeling like garbage. That ain't a holiday. Whereas in some countries, like France, for example, you can have as many as 30 days of paid holiday. You cannot get 30 days of paid holiday in the United States. But that's because it's mandated in Europe. In many countries, you must give holidays paid. But here in the United States, we don't tend to do that. So clearly, if you are seriously knocked out flat on your butt with COVID-19, you have no recourse, or even seeing the flu, you have no recourse. Show up at work and pray to God you don't give it to anybody else. Well, companies are starting to catch up on that and starting to realize is, hey, we can change that. We can change that. And what I mean by that is that we should allow people to take a couple days off to recover and feel better and be healthier. So now they're encouraging companies to do things like telecommuting, where you work from home, and they're also interested in doing that with schoolwork as well. The Winchester Public Schools are closed for 2 weeks. The soup kitchen's dining room is expected, as I said earlier, to be closed for 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks. There's a problem for a person who has a knee injury. Well, you expect me to stand outside in a long line to get a takeout and hope my knee doesn't give out on me? I don't know if I can do that. I mean, I never stood outside for a long time. That's one of the reasons why when I go in the soup kitchen, I usually wait till the rest of the line peters down before I get up to go get my tray, because it's easier for me. I mean, sure, like there's like 2 people left in line, I'll be at the end of the line because I know the line goes pretty quick. But when the soup kitchen line goes all the way to the back of the dining room, and I know that's going to be at least 10 minutes of people waiting in line to get their meals, it's easier for me to just wait. I am going to check it out tomorrow, because tomorrow it's going to be starting this new process and seeing how this works. So, yeah, we'll see what it does. Okay? I do hope it's going to work for the soup kitchen. But, I'm never sure exactly how it's going to work, because it's all new, not necessarily improved. National Day of Prayer. This is from Donald Trump. It's my great pleasure. Honor to declare Sunday, March 15th, National Day of Prayer. We are in a country that, throughout our history, can look to God for protection. Yep, I will retweet that. All right. National Day of Prayer, 15th. Absolutely. So I think it's going to be important to remember that we are just a country where we need to be aware that our site, our country, has always been close to God, at least in part anyway. And I think we need to be aware that God is going to be the one that's going to get us out of this jam. Because human beings may have created this problem, and they did, and both in the laboratory and in the way we deal with everyday shipping, transportation, and getting from point A to point B, which is also a man-made problem. So we've created this problem and how we deal with our global society. So yeah, it is our problem. And yeah, we need God's help to help us straighten it out because we can't do it on our own. I mean, but just remember, just like God, when George Boone said, "I gave you all the resources you needed to solve these problems. You can make it work." And John Denver says, "Work? It's a mess down here. We don't know how to do anything." I gave you a mouth, didn't I? I gave you the ability to speak out and address these issues. I gave you all the resources you need. Just tell them that we can make it work. Oh, yeah. Please tell them to stop using my rivers as toilets and killing all my fishes. You want to try to see a miracle? You make a fish from scratch. Kill 1 in 28 species, over and out. He's right. Absolutely. And you know what the thing is? If we have these resources, how come or so many people don't listen to the people that are trying to address and sound and address these issues? It sounds like somebody Wuhan. How in the hell did some crazy rogue laboratory in Wuhan manage to design such a thing? Number 2. Why have we allowed a global society to make traveling so easy from place to place? This has been prophesied by many people. Futurists have prophesied this. A major pandemic will happen because of travel. Yeah, it really is happening because of travel. Because people have gotten to the point where they can go anywhere and everywhere. And do I ever see? I have never seen it. Maybe now they are doing it. When you get off a plane, have a stewardess go ahead and send you into a bathroom and say, "Wash your hands, please. Don't touch the gateway. Don't touch the entry. And before you get on the plane, wash your hands, please. You have a cold. You feel sick. Alternative method of travel, please." That now they're doing that. But here's the thing: is that by the time we're doing all that, it's not gonna be effective in a large situation. It's just not going to work. It's reality. It's just not going to work. I want to see people happy. I want to see people healthy. What's this? Some critical issues we're working on together with YouTube. So we want clear and detail for post-monetization. Okay, this is something else. I'm just checking out my YouTubers Union news group. So, it's just an example of the things that I find frustrating. How fast would you like to see the other side of that door? If you're going to try anything funny, I'm not kidding you. Oh, okay. Let's Skynet. All right. What's up? So anyway, The hardest thing for me right now is just because normally we started at 8 o'clock, and we now are doing a 7 o'clock show. A lot of the people haven't really come on. No, because it's Friday night anyway. People are getting ready, still watching the evening news. They're probably still watching the evening news, still watching about everything going on with the national emergency declaration and everything else. It's but like I said earlier on my show on Facebook, I said, guys, this is not the bubonic plague. You don't have to worry. In some ways, you don't. And the reason I said that was very clear. One, you guys can avoid getting it by exercising due diligence. Let's see how it sounds here. I love that effect. I do too. That is totally trippy. I'm on my normal account now. Well, stocked up as best as I can be since they don't take EBT snap cards at Walmart.com. So, I mean, I got 2 rolls of TP. I'm not exactly short in TP. I have pastas. I have butter. I do have salt. But unfortunately, fresh fruit and vegetables, I do not have fresh fruit and vegetables. So I got rice from the soup kitchen. They gave me some rice. So we do have rice. So, yeah, I do have rice. So, yeah, I have food. I certainly got plenty of macaroni and cheeses. I got about $80 in food stamps left. So, the soup kitchen is going to be doing takeouts only for the next 2 weeks. Next week to 2 weeks. Which means you walk to the door, they give you a tray, a package of food, and then you go home and then you put it in your microwave. How you doing, Speckle Cat? How's it going? So anyway, the point is what that means for the majority of the people at the soup kitchen is that they're going to have to find a way to eat the food, to cook it themselves, warm it up in the microwave or whatever they're going to be using to cook it on. But they're meals that you can take out. But the problem is a lot of times they like to use a lot of mayonnaise in sandwiches, and I can't eat mayonnaise. So I basically would be forced to have to walk away from the sandwiches. Soup, if they put soup in there, the problem is the soup's going to spill, considering I have to carry it. I'm doing okay. For me, I can still go to Cumbies next door, but Cumbies is kind of got a bit of a problem already because of supplies. A lot of the things that I use, one, are very expensive over there. As I said, I have $80 in food stamps. So it's not like I got a ton of food stamps, and we still have, it's only the 12th. So that means that I have to figure out what I'm going to eat for 19 days. Because it's 31 days in March. So 19 days means $80 divided by 2 is in weeks. It's going to be about $40 a week. So it means that I'm going to have to keep an eye on that to make sure that I don't use all my money up buying things I can't use right away. Yeah, well, if you end up going in the hospital for anaphylactic shock, what the hell good is that? It's mayonnaise is lethal. I cannot eat mayonnaise at all because I go into anaphylactic shock. Oh, maybe it is. It might be. Might be. Well, I know it's the third. I know it's Friday, so it really doesn't matter anyway. Usually for Michelle's family, usually the 13th is usually a good day. Or at least a boring one anyway. It usually is not a major detail. Yeah, it is the 13th. Huh. Okay. That's right. Tomorrow is 14th. My mistake. Or what? I wouldn't need to. That'd be easy if you purchase rice, beans, onions. Well, I know what doesn't. Ketchup does not have an effect on my body. Mustard doesn't either, except they taste nasty. Oh, actually, the ketchup is just nasty. The yellow mustard is kind of icky. I can eat it. Michelle likes homemade sauerkraut. Yeah, I make homemade sauerkraut once in a while. Once in a while. I'm definitely allergic to. It seems to be mayonnaise in particular because the combination of the eggs and the vinegar. I can eat eggs for the most part. I am sensitive to gluten. It gives me IBS if I eat too much gluten. Trust me, I don't want to go into detail, but if you really want to know, because of my gluten sensitivity, even a frozen pizza from the store can basically make me be visiting the bathroom a lot. So, I remember when I used to make mustard and ketchup cans. Well, first of all, I think I would probably come up with a better, more healthier choice. You'll probably just make a standard Norwegian mopaka. It's pretty much what I do. It's, in case you don't know what a mopaka is, it's a very boring sandwich. Like cheese on bread, sometimes, usually using, what kind of cheese is it? Waxy cheese. Or I'll just make one just a plain peanut butter sandwich, which I guess you can call that an American mupaka. It's just basically very basic, boring, blah. Or sometimes I'll put some butter on a piece of bread. Well, yeah. Only the thing is right now, we got a whole nother pound of butter left. Right. Oh, so we do have stuff. We have stuff. We have brown rice. We got a whole brand new bag of it. Some from the kitchen. We got macaroni and cheeses. My biggest problem is sweets. Like a lot of Aquariuses, I have a sweet tooth and just like enjoy sweet stuff. Spinach is okay. Not steamed spinach, raw spinach. And kale. Is okay too. And of course, broccoli and cauliflower, cooked or raw. Potatoes are okay raw, cooked as well. Marmite on Ritz crackers. I got Marmite and I do have Ritz crackers, but they're very salty, so you gotta have to be careful with Marmite. And just spread it ultra thin because too much salt can be bad for your high blood pressure. If you get high blood pressure, I don't have high blood pressure, thank God, but I don't want to get high blood pressure. So, it's just something you gotta watch what you're eating, and you gotta make the right choices. The only thing is there's no way to actually ship frozen things. Because the problem is they don't have frozen food shipping here in Connecticut. The post office does not do that. Now, if I was in Alaska, you could send me frozen food, and I actually would get it through the post office. Because obviously, not only do you have Mother Nature's refrigerator out there, but you also, of course, got the ability to do other things as well. Yeah. I don't mind lima beans. Everybody says lima beans suck. I don't mind lima beans. I don't like Brussels sprouts, so I don't mind lima beans. Fresh carrots. So I hope that Donald Trump gets in contact with the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture and says, hey, you guys need to make it easier for people who are on food stamps to get things delivered to their homes, because we don't want to have people who are dependent on food stamps risking their lives, potentially getting COVID-19, just because they don't have the ability to buy something online. I think he should be telling to the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, you should be working with EBT stop people in all the states to encourage them to work with the major retailers that are food distributors. May it be Market 32, may it be Stop and Shop, Giant Supermarkets, Amazon, Whole Foods, Walmart, to make it possible for them to have food orders shipped, especially if they already have a food distribution process in place, so that they can buy the groceries and have them delivered to their door. It's important. Okay? Now, there's a program in Connecticut called Instacart. It's not just in Connecticut, of course, but it's they actually go shopping for you. Yeah. Dry ice is the thing that they ship frozen foods to use. Yeah, I do know about dry ice. Yeah. Except I haven't known where you buy it, because dry ice, I don't even know how you get dry ice. I mean, I know how it's made, but I don't exactly see dry ice readily available in my immediate area. Let's see. Yeah, I know it is. Minus 300 and something degrees Fahrenheit. Dry ice is cold. You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. I'll give you frostbite too. Oh, we don't have a Safeway in Winston. We only have a Stop and Shop. I wonder if you can get it maybe like at Market 32 or maybe Big Y. Big Y, probably, yeah. Yeah, I know. Mythbusters showed what you could happen is if you put some dry ice into a 2-liter bottle of soda to make an underwater depth charge for testing something in a small experiment. Because they didn't want to use an actual real explosive depth charge, because they didn't want to potentially kill everybody. But even in a 2-liter plastic bottle, it can still cause a tremendous explosion. So, yeah, I definitely think we need to keep in mind that if we're going to go half-assed with this, we might as well go all-assed on this. I mean, after all, those people in food stamps are going to order online too, and they're going to need their food supplies just like those who are well-to-do with money to burn. And I think that the U.S. Department of Agriculture really needs to change that rule. Because it's the 21st century, man. People do buy groceries online. Well-to-do people with money buy groceries online. They either have home delivery or they arrange to maybe drive up to curbside pickup at Walmart to pick it up, or maybe even a Whole Foods directly if you need a Whole Foods. There's no reason why those people with EBT SNAP should be forced out of this modern technology. You guys got electronic cards. That's what they call electronic benefits transfer. Why aren't you allowing people, especially during COVID-19 season, to go ahead and buy the groceries with their EBT SNAP cards? You're so worried about fraud, right? That's what the whole reason is. It all has to do with fraud. Hold on a minute, buddy. Here's the point. If you are seriously hungry, and yet everybody else with EBT SNAP cards are hungry, and they're all lining up at a grocery store looking for the last 5 bags of broccoli, instead of actually the store being able to say, okay, we got 50 orders for broccoli, so let's go ahead and order from the farmers 50 orders of broccoli to satisfy the 50 orders. Instead of making 50 people go walking into a store, risking giving each other a flu, a cold, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, basically badass, whoop-ass shit, let's go ahead and say, fine. Okay, here you go. Go to this website, Walmart.com. You go ahead, you enter EBT number, you enter in all the necessary digits, codes, whatever you need. They convert, they register, they verify it, they verify you're the real deal. You can go ahead and buy your food items, and then we will ship it. Oh, unfortunately, yeah, unless you spend $35 on groceries, you're going to have to pay for shipping out of your own pocket in cash. Well, okay, that sounds reasonable. I mean, it doesn't sound unreasonable to me. Instacart people like being tipped. It's hard to tip them with an EBT card, isn't it? It's hard to pay them a delivery with an EBT card since they don't even do EBT card at all. Even if you tell them to go to Aldi, pick up my milk, pick up my yogurt, pick up my produce, and it's all food items. Yeah, you got to pay the service delivery charge, right? You're going to have cash for that. So if you do have cash in your EBT card section, you should be able to pay them. Well, we're talking about the food stamps specifically. If you're, obviously, I'm sure once you get the total, they can actually make the receipt that says EBT section is, food stamp section is, okay? And then complete order, yes, no. Now, the least thing you know what you're paying and you know what you're going to get. But why aren't they doing that? Why aren't they doing that? Why is there not, as far as I know, any discussion about the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, which runs the USDA food stamp program, to say, we're going to change the rules a bit to make it easier for online food orders for people on food stamps? I mean, after all, you can order everything else online with cash, credit cards, debit cards. Why not food stamps? What about not? It's just like if you got on the new Social Security debit cards, which is actually a debit card, right? I can use that to purchase things at Walmart if I had one. I have friends who does. He buys the food, supplies, the clothing, and he pays the rent and everything else. No one should do that job. It's like the unfulfilled party clowning struggle message over the help. It's just telling them you give them extra. It doesn't work when you actually got to pay them. You can see, it's just not a very practical system right now. It's just not workable at this point. Maybe in the future, somebody will wake up and come up with a better plan. I don't know when that's going to be, but hopefully someday soon, someone's going to come up with a system that's more practical and better. But until then, until somebody says, "Hey, dude, we're gonna fix the problems of the world." Oh, don't worry about it, man. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be grooving and you're gonna be cruising. Well, Ed's on the phone. Hold on a minute. Ed, I'm on the show right now. Can I call you back a little later?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why my phone won't work. I came home and I can't get nothing on. I don't understand why my phone I can't get no internet. I don't understand why. I don't know what's going on.
What, on your phone?
Yeah, when I just came back, there's no YouTube, no nothing. It's telling me that after I was trying to connect to the internet. I don't know. Maybe just Cricket's having trouble with their connection or something.
Did you try calling your cell phone provider at 611?
No, I'll try that now, though. I'll talk to him in a while.
Yeah, try calling them first because they might know maybe what's going on. Just dial 611 on your phone.
All right,
bye. Bye-bye. That was that. He was trying to figure out why his internet's not working on his phone. I had a little problem with my internet, my phone this afternoon too, when I was trying that Restream IO thing. But I think maybe it was more from the beta test program, the new Restream Go beta. I sent a message to them, and I told them nicely, I said, you guys have got to get rid of the choppiness of this program. I just grabbed my model phone. I just grabbed the information about my phone. And I said, it's choppy. I need to be able to change the bandwidth specifications so that I could use less bandwidth, hoping that might be better for me to cut back on the choppiness. Okay? So, yeah, that's something else. Is that what's going to happen when things break down if everybody's quarantined? Who's going to fix the cell towers? Who's going to fix the power lines? Who's going to fix the any kind of infrastructure failures like gas lines, water lines, sewer lines, whatever? I don't know. No one seems to be discussing that. All I know is that the National Guard is on standby in states that have a significant COVID-19 presence to aid with emergencies along with FEMA. So I remember a couple years ago, there was a TV series on the Discovery Channel called Sanctuary. It was a reality show. The idea of the reality show was exactly what's going on with COVID-19. People had to deal with the fact is they were all quarantined. There was actually 2 seasons of it. The first one had to do with a national disaster with the loss of power grid, loss of a natural disaster. But the second one was specifically about biological contagion. So that was interesting because that gave me an idea what to deal with. Because I was already thinking a million miles ahead, because I had read many authors discussing this exact concern what COVID-19 is doing, which is going to shut down the systems of of transportation and communications, and of course shipping. So there's not much you can really do, and especially if for some reason you have a power grid failure, and you have a whole freezer full of frozen pizza. You're fucked, okay? Unless you got a generator to power your freezer. So, which most people don't. So, I mean, especially not enough gasoline or propane to run your generator for a couple of weeks while somebody tries to muster out some repair crews to get out there and fix the power lines. Or what happens when we have a major massive nuclear high altitude nuclear strike that causes high energy EMP pulse, high frequency to come into the power grid and destroy that. That would be bad. But don't forget, with power lines, they can be affected by EMPs on 3 levels. 1, low frequency. Okay, that would be like the ones from the sun because they're so long. They have a closer tuning to the frequencies that we would see from the sun. Medium frequencies, and high frequencies, which you might see from a high altitude nuclear explosive device. That's bad enough. Power grid goes down, transformers explode. Nobody's going to be refrigerating their frozen pizzas that they bought from Cumberland Farms. And then the pizzas are going to go bad. And then you're going to have to deal with vermin, rats, mice, cockroaches, and other nasty bugs. Nobody wants that. People are going to get sick eating old rotten food. Not a good thing. So, I would say that I do hope that they do have keeping that in mind about the health and safety of the individuals that are going to be stuck if they are in the city. Remember around 2003 in August in New York City and a large portion of the East Coast lost power because of a power line transmission failure. Connecticut and New England were spared because ISO New England yanked the fuse that connected us to the other power grids. I remember because the power on the 26th. Was it 26th? Something like that, 26th. That their lights went out for a second, and then they came right back again very quickly. And that was because of a switching error in Ohio because a tree touched a tree branch. Oh. And the city of New York was without power for days. People were stuck in the subways. And they were very, very concerned about getting people safely out of there. It was hot in New York. There was no air conditioning. Windows in many apartments did not open. People were sick. They went out into the streets. There was not really much rioting. They were smart. They actually realized this, that, guys, we can't do anything about it. No reason to riot. Like 1977, when that's exactly when they did. They had a riot. They had people smashing windows, stealing TVs, and everything else. Like, what good is a TV going to do you if you have no way to power it? That doesn't make any sense. But that's in 1977. That's what they did. So it's. But if you have no way to get down from the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th floor down to ground level because your elevator is not working. I mean, I go up and down stairs, 3 flights of stairs every day with my knee. But imagine me trying to go up and down 8 flights of stairs, multiple times a day to do everything from trying to find food, water, and then realizing that how long would your toilet keep working in the city of New York? The lift pumps in the city of New York are huge. But there's only so much extra capacity, so if the generators go out that runs the lift pumps, your shit's going to start floating up your pipes. The ground floor is going to be seeing your shit from the 3rd floor down. You see sewer lines back up all the time in life. It's disgusting, but it's a reality, okay? Which brings up another thing I hear about, especially with COVID-19. Everybody's going gaga for toilet paper. Really? Going gaga for toilet paper. I go cuckoo for Scots. Really? It's toilet paper. Like, you don't know if there's other ways to clean your privates? Really? Of course there are other ways to clean your privates. I mentioned that yesterday. Let me see message. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But I think that I don't think you really have to worry, guys. I think we're going to do fine. I really do think that common sense is going to prevail. We'll be fine. That's what we need right now. We got to keep our heads on. We got to keep our heads on our heads, our shoulders on our heads on our shoulders, and try to use common sense, because that's what it's going to take. Okay. Because we've been through worse. This isn't necessarily the only storm we've ever had. But you know what? If you live in a major city, I would be more concerned about that than if you live in a small countryside where you have your own septic tank and your own well. But then again, if you don't have an alternative way of pumping water, if the power grid goes down, you're going to basically be thirsty more than needing to relieve yourself. So in that case, you're going to need to have alternative water on hand. Fortunately, I live in an area where I have municipal water supplies. But it is an issue. It is an issue. Because even in major cities, though, the water system, of course, is controlled by pumps too. So I mean, if the power goes out and there's no backup power for the pumps, once the pressure of the system drops down to virtually zero, it may not get to the upper floors of buildings. So you're going to have to deal with that. Of course, chlorination and filtration plants, they're going to have to be powered too. So meaning that even if you do get water going at all, is the water being properly filtered by chlorination and filtration, or is it just passing through the system unfiltered, other than maybe going through the sediment filters? Very good question. Another thing I want to point out is I live in an area, they just built a new gas station. Did you know that even though they built a brand new top of the line gas station, that they did not put in a generator? Think of what that means. There's no generator. So if for some reason they lose power because of a storm or whatever, they have no way to keep the food refrigerated. They have no way to keep pumping gasoline. They have no way to run point of sale terminals. Why in the hell? It's a brand new gas station. They just built it from the ground up. Why didn't they think of that? There's no backup power sources at any of the gas stations in my community. I do not understand why these gas stations never thought about that. Why don't they think about the need that we have to have a backup power source so we can pump gas, and so we can run credit cards, and so we can keep our food supplies cold and refreshed and make sure they're ready for sale, and have the lights on so people can come in and buy the stuff? I mean, on the older gas stations like Cumberland Farms, I can see why, right? No one ever thought about that. But a brand new built one, why didn't they think of that? That sounds kind of stupid that they wouldn't even say, hey, wait a minute. We're building this thing from the ground up. Why can't we put in a generator and then we have at least power backup so that we can at least keep going? No, it doesn't. Thank God. No, it doesn't go out a lot. But when it does, one place that keeps doing gangbusters is ABC Pizza, because ABC Pizza has a generator. It's a portable, large 5,000 watt, but they have a generator. They wheel it up, they plug it in, fill it with gasoline, and boom, wham, bam, making pizzas today, ma'am. Oh, you want beer? Okay, we have those too. You want to have calzones and pastas? Of course, our ovens are gas and our stove is gas, so we can cook dinner. Our refrigerators are running off the generator. Then we're all set to go. They're already thinking that way. The owner of ABC Pizza is ahead of the game. So every time we lost power, ice storms, whatever, or like we did during Autumn Storm Alfred for 2 weeks. Oh wait, it was a week. It's a week. They were making pizzas the whole time. They were running credit cards the whole time. They were doing gangbusters. They were ahead of the game. Every other pizzeria had to close, except for Mario's, Monaco's. Monaco's was open, but they didn't have generators. All they had was candles. But they had no way to keep the refrigeration running, so they ended up putting the food outside. if they couldn't do that. Yeah, and they did really well because they were actually ahead of the game. Because everybody else, regardless, wasn't able to cook because everybody else's stoves are electric in their homes. They didn't have any other place to order food. So they would go to ABC Pizza, eat in, or they'd get takeout. Business sense, that is a good way to keep going because you actually are not as tied down by the failure of power grid. You can still keep doing your business and doing the things that you love. And no, they did not charge extra for those pizzas. They were regular prices. But they were still doing gangbusters because they were ahead of the game. Well, it's a sole proprietorship, so they're not trading on the market. It's a sole proprietorship. It's a small little it's a little family-run pizza restaurant. But I mean, it's the fact is that they were ahead of the game and they were thinking. Honestly, if we lose power because of COVID-19, it's going to be just as bad as it was in New York City in 1977. You're not going to have people being very nice about it, especially when they're already anxious enough about getting something that so many of them keep thinking is a death sentence. It's not a death sentence, people. For the large majority of people, as I said, it is not a death sentence. You do not have to worry about dying from COVID-19. You're not going to die from COVID-19. Okay? Listen to me. You're not going to die from COVID-19. And why? Because COVID-19 is not necessarily a killer. It is if you have an immune system that is not up to snuff or you're elderly. But if you have an actively healthy system, you're doing fine. You're gonna be fine with COVID-19. It's just gonna be a minor annoyance. But it's like people do bring up that it is an issue of populations of people crammed in small spaces that are gonna get everybody sick. Saying things like the virus can stay airborne for 3 hours. Like, what does it have? Its own anti-gravity device? It's like, how can you stay in the air for 3 hours? That would mean that it's gliding around like a little glider plane or something. Sorry, I looked at the COVID-19 bacteria. It's not very aerodynamic. So how in the hell is it floating? Was it got little rocket engines on the back? It's like, it looks like a little fucking basketball or soccer ball with little pointy things on it. It's a round thing. It's not flat. It's round, okay? I mean, what's it do? Hit one of the little springy things and spring up back in the air like a Super Bowl? I mean, okay. And then, of course, it says, live on a plastic surface for 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Which means that this virus has its own food source. Obviously, if it's able to stay alive on this flat surface or plastic surface for 2 weeks. Only now is the power. Let these dead people know. Oh, I don't know what that means, but the thing here is I'm trying to point out is there's definitely an issue of the numbers. The populations of bigger cities are going to be a much more likely concern for COVID-19 than it's going to be a small little podunk town like Winston, which is only 4,000 people. What are you going to do with those 4,000 people? Oh, Winston tends to stay at home. They don't even go out most of the time. Well, maybe once in a while, somebody will go up there and pick up a pizza, ABC Pizza. Sometimes people will go to Stop and Shop, Cumberland Farms, go in and out. Hell, we could even rename Cumberland Farms In and Out because that's exactly what people do. They go in, pump gas, pay for it, come out with a gallon of milk and say some extra things for the house, and then they go home. Not exactly a major social event of the day. I think they have an amazing spin and thus have some. I don't know. I've never seen it spin, but I've seen it. Obviously, I've seen the shape of it. But what about the same thing with the cold virus? We don't have a cure for the cold either, or the flu. Oh, vaccines will treat some of it. Yeah. But the flu shot isn't guaranteed effective all the time. So I strongly doubt that this virus is going to be very effective if they do come up with a COVID-19 vaccine. We already have 2 strains of it. We have strain L. Think of the word large, like in lethal large. That's the one that has 75% of the people have. And strain S, which is small or safe. So only 25% of the people have. So, I don't know about that. I'm not saying that they're cheap. They're not. Cumberland Farms is not cheap. Oh, it's not cheap. But I mean, this Cumberland Farms is, for me, at least it's conveniently across the street from my house. Remember, for me to get to Stop and Shop, I have to basically get a car ride up there. And don't expect me to walk up, because with my knee, I couldn't even walk up there anyway. I did ride up there when they had my trike. I almost snapped my chain a couple times because of the hill, but they did get up there. I ended up pushing my bike up the hill. But then I don't have my bike anymore. So, but my trike, it was a 3-wheel. It was only a 3-speed. Now, if I had like a 10-speed trike, I don't even think they make a 10-speed. It'd be neat if they did, though. Or if I put on a 1 kilowatt motor on the back, something like Lois Rossman's buffeting. Yeah, that'd be nice, right? On me, I probably would shoot the sucker up to go 20 miles an hour, go flying up the hill. Vroom. No, you can't. You can take the Thursday. Yes, I can. If it's running, I gotta find out. For next week, I'm gonna call the senior center on Monday and find out what the story is. So let me see if that's running, because they've already shut the Winston Public Schools down. They partially shut down the soup kitchen. What about the buses? Okay, if it's all an issue of containment, if it's very possible the mass transit might be shut down too for the same reason. It's not unrealistic. After all, nobody wants COVID-19. Nobody wants it. So I can call the senior center prayer transit van. Of course, I did want to go shopping with somebody else to help me out, but I obviously, because I'm going to need help getting it up the stairs. Bags and bags and bags and bags. Okay, well, actually, that was another thing I was going to have done. I did do, actually. I bought the cat food. I bought the cat litter. I bought some of the non-food items already that I needed. The food items, I got to go pick up and purchase at Stop and Shop. So, but again, with this COVID-19 thing, is Stop and Shop going to be open? I don't know. Is Stop and Shop going to have any food in stock? I don't know. Is the paratransit van going to be running? I don't know. I can't tell you until I call them on Monday and I ask them if they are actually going to be running on Thursday. So that's something to keep in mind. So, also, I have a lady friend named Lorraine that wants to meet up with me. Well, Lorraine is a Pisces. Cute, likey blonde, another blonde. That wants to meet up with me. The problem is Pisces and Aquarius, are they compatible? Or is Pisces and Virgo a better match? I don't know. Except the difference is I know this Pisces. I lived with her at the fish shelter for several months, so I know her pretty well. And she's pretty nice, a friendly person. But that's something else for the future. I don't know how that's gonna go. Don't forget to put some likes in the tip card, in the likes jar, please, guys. Put some likes in the likes jar. And if you put a dislike in the dislike jar, if you really think about the show, is it really dislikable? If it's not, put it in the likes jar. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I don't know what the future is going to hold with relationships. Honestly, I really don't know. Like I described about why this Aquarius loves Virgos, I love the mind games. I love head sex, which is very different than a lot of people that are looking for, as you said, between the leg sex. I'm a thinker, and many Virgos like both kinds of sex. So I don't know about Pisces though. I think Pisces is more into the between the leg sex. But we'll see what happens, okay? I mean, it's the future could happen. Maybe me and Lorraine, she's single. She's cute. She's bubbly. She's friendly. She has a social presence. She's, decent, kind, loving. Might be a good match. Versus Patty, which is very closed off, private, very austere, stern, wants everything perfect, which basically wears out her guts and basically gets IBS and ulcers because of her strive for perfection, which is a Virgo trait. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I dislike because you spread false information. I'm not spreading false information. In fact, if anything, I'm doing the best I can to give truthful information. I'm doing my best to give truthful information. That's something I can say that's important. It's not so much if you accidentally give false information; it's the intent. If you're deliberately trying to snow somebody, then obviously you're going to be cut out for it. If you give out some information that was a mistake, but not intentional, people, more than likely go, okay, she got something wrong, okay, but when I find out about it, I'll let you know what I did wrong. I'm doing fine. We are doing good. We got 12 likes right now. How many haters? I don't know them. I don't know how many haters. Wish I could find out that answer. Well, they're doing good right now. Wait, I got a message waiting for me. Let's see. Let's see. Stream painting, and cousin's watching, and will tell me if someone needs it. Okay. So Rachel is painting right now, and she's watching the show and listening to the show. But the thing I'm trying to point out is that I have done my best to try to give accurate information. I've tried. I get so much information that I get inundated with it. Sometimes I get things wrong. Sometimes I make mistakes. But that's very different than if you're deliberately trying to mislead. She's painting her kitchen right now. She just told me I'm painting my kitchen right now, Skynet. She's listening to this show while she's painting her kitchen right now. Okay? So, and she did talk about the pictures. She did talk about them yesterday. Okay? I mean, she did cover them. Maybe we should ask this question. What's that? Why does it matter? Yeah, why does it matter? You do realize that the pictures only show the crotch, right? They don't show my face. They don't show my hands. They have no labels on them. All they show is a fucking crotch. What's the big deal? How do you know that's even my crotch you're looking at? How do you know that's my pussy? You don't know. That's the thing I want people to understand. It just shows a crotch. That's all it shows. It doesn't show anything else. In fact, it doesn't even show the whole crotch. It just shows a part of the front of it. Jeez. I mean, that's the thing to keep in mind. Talk about false information. I've heard people say is you show you like basically doing the equivalent of a pole dancing. No, I wasn't doing a pole dance. I wasn't standing there showing off my naked body in its full extent. First of all, I shot the pictures myself, and I'll tell you, I couldn't have got the camera further back enough to do that. No, it's not. And that's just it. Again, Skynet, the picture you showed me of the beautiful woman's VJ was better looking than mine. Damn, she was sexy looking, actually. Oh, yeah, I can see her little tiny, female clitoris. Ooh, cute little picture that Skynet sent me. And then text message. Really cute. No, it wasn't me, though. But cute. So, what I'm just trying to say is, it doesn't matter to you guys in one sense because you guys, it's like, I mean, if you guys, like, for example, it's just gossip. It's like, oh, did you hear about somebody who basically robbed the 7-Eleven because they wanted a 6-pack of Diet Coke? That kind of thing. It's like it doesn't really make any sense to get over it. It's just a photograph, you know. It's just a photograph. I mean, now, as far as other things go, I got a message today from out on the Wire and Lumi's channel. And I'm going to tell you, I'm really close to sending him his walking papers on her chat group. I would say don't bother. Okay, this is to me. Okay, this says, on Wire says, LOL, so you ban, unban, your loss. I have spent hours in private chats trying to support you. I have brought you subs. I have given you money when you were down and out. I have tried to get people to rally for you. What have you ever done for me? ? All you have ever done for me was when you needed it. I could care less about your bans. Just remember the next time you need some grocery money or support, I'm banned. You are a terrible friend, and I am glad to end a relationship. Well, first of all, here's the thing I feel about that. On the Wire is a two-face. Because, yeah, on one side, he's happy to help me out, but on the other side, he's part of the people making fun of me and poking sticks to my gate. So I don't really think it's really a very good arrangement at all. It's just, strange that everybody. How you doing, Sprinkle Cat? I know that Skynet likes to play around with the group too, but he's not overall, and neither is, and so does Schmeckle Cat to some extent. But you guys have been decent. I never had a problem with either one of you. But people that were actively encouraging so much harm to people, and took things too far. That's what we were talking about. Not so much yesterday, but we were talking about it on Monday when I had my second night or my Monday night explosion. Or you should call it that, Monday night explosion. You're watching ABC's Monday Night Explosion. Monday Night Explosion. Only on ABC. But the thing is no, that's something I used to miss. That's something I used to miss on broad times, old regular TV shows. I miss those days when you could watch the Monday night movies or the Friday night movies on the TV networks. I used to love those as a kid. And they were fun. Watch all kinds of good movies. Let's see. My phone died. Damn it. We all want your content to grow. Well, I want my content to grow too, but the thing is that I got to find the balance where we can have fun and still be productive as well. And that's where, we got to find the right balance where we can have fun, but also deal with the real world. And so that's important. I have to find the right sweet spot. That's complicated. That's complicated because there's so many potential things that can go wrong. If somebody might not like my show, somebody might love my show, somebody might hate my show. So you know what I'm saying? It's not easy to just go out there and say, let's do show A. Basically, act like a giant eternal goofball. Basically, acting like hamming up for the camera, and then never be serious, never cover real world events. Because when you start covering real world events on a show that's a comedy show, you don't know if you're telling the truth or not. Like the Colbert Report. He has tried to cover real things in his way of trying to disguise him as comedy. But if he ever covered real news in its real form, people will think he's making fun of the real events, and he'll get more dislikes than you can imagine. So Colbert tries to be funny, but deep down, he does recognize that there are some times when he would like to be able to cover the real world events in the real way. So finding the balance is important. Well, we're having a great show now, but because we're covering the real world and we're covering the real world issues, we still ham it up for the audience. We still have fun. I mean, as I said, finding the right balance is going to be key. Finding the right balance. See, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking that if Lorraine Plord, that's her name, by the way, that's her real name, Lorraine Plord, the other girl I like, if she decides to join us on the soup kitchen. She lives in Torrington. I don't know how she's going to get to Winsted. Obviously, she'll have to take the bus into the soup kitchen. But, the soup kitchen is closed. The dining room's closed for 2 weeks. So that ain't going to happen. So she can get a bus pass. She could come to Connecticut, Winsted. We could do a show at the soup kitchen on Facebook. We could talk about the real world issues. I was testing today the new beta test program for Restream Go, which they're going to have to really seriously fix some things on it. And it does seem to keep the sound good. Although the sound is a little extra hot. They have to work on the sound. I didn't report the sound problem, but that's probably because my microphone on my phone is extra spicy anyway. I swear to God, whoever made my microphone on my phone must have been eating a lot of Taco Bell because, boy, it's one spicy microphone. Peg your meter big time every time on the VUs. If you're not careful, you got to basically hold the phone far away or you're going to blow everybody's ear in. That's kind of going to test. Because I've actually plugged my phone in to the mixer board, and the automatic level control will crank my volume up to deafen. And then you sound like you said, like a badly tuned drive-through speaker. And that's because the automatic gain control on the phone is set wrong, and it's not adjustable unless you root the damn thing. If you're going to root your damn phone, the problem is now every badass person's going to come in there and try to stake in some nasty scripts, and it's going to potentially destroy your phone. That's why I never rooted my phone or did any side loads, because I don't want my phone to be compromised. It's my only other streaming app place other than the computer. So it's not worth it to risk my equipment with side loads from unverified sources trying to tweak settings. And of course, it would have been nice if LG on the Aristo had said, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you the option in advanced settings to change those things. Why not? Give us, the phone owner, if we really want to tweak with the volume levels or automatic gain pre-compensation, allow us to do that. We may have good reasons to do that. And my phone is not the only LG phone that had that problem. So I don't know why they have the gain set so high that the phone is like spicy. Let's put it this way. You're thinking you're eating a spicy taco? Ooh. You put that phone, you look at the output voltage peak to peak, and you're watching that thing going, just talking in the phone, everything's major clipped and distorted, and it's like, enough already. So, something to think about. Michelle, they closed all the schools here in Michigan. I'm actually kind of scared. Post Malone canceled his whole tour. I had tickets, and now what? I agree with you, Michelle. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, is the paratransit going to be ready? I don't know. I'm gonna have to call Monday and Senior Center and see what the story is. Next year, I'm going to be eligible to become a full senior at the Senior Center and pay $15 a year, and then I can go on Senior Center trips and things like that. I can't believe I'm a young senior citizen. Holy shit, 53 years old. I'll be 53 next February. Oh, that's nothing. Patty's 62. She don't look like 62, but she's 62. And the other girl like is 3 years older than me. She's actually 55. And she's single. So very interesting. But one of the things is, let's try to keep working on getting the show better. Why do I got one quick question about yesterday's show? We had a high of 24 likes, 11 dislikes. What the hell happened to all the likes? They disappeared. They all vaporized. What happened to all the dislikes? They all vaporized. But there's still 2 likes to 7 dislikes in the end. What happened to them all? Originally, it was the opposite. Originally, it was 24 likes to 11 dislikes. All of a sudden, it swapped. I don't understand that. Why would you? What did the people not like about yesterday's show? It was funny. There was a lot of comedy. There was a lot of funny stuff in it. It was good. For the most part, because I was in a good mood. And I was having fun with you. Again, now here we're trying to have a little fun, but we're also trying to cover real serious stuff too. So it's not, again, that's points to point, finding the balance that works. Being overall stupid or being overall serious, or finding something in between where people are going to respect your seriousness, but also understand that you like to have fun too. That's not always an easy thing to balance. It really isn't. Because I know that we really, I love what I do. I love what I say on my show and everything. It's just me. I love doing my show. But the one thing is that, it's you gotta find a balance. You gotta find a balance. Gotta find the magic where it works. So, like I said, it's like a couple days ago. It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. You hope one's gonna hit close to the bullseye. A good portion of them may actually miss the dartboard completely. But it's not because you're trying to be, YouTube is a platform of extremes. From seriousness to total stupidity. Where do you find that balance? I'm still working on that. But finding the audience that's going to want to be part of this is just as important. Because sometimes when you get an audience that's too hard of a tough room, and new people come in, and they feel uncomfortable because they feel like everybody's out there to cause harm, or that nobody seems to appreciate the commentators trying to keep the audience engaged in a positive way. That makes them feel uncomfortable, and then they leave. Then they walk out of the room, and then they give a dislike, and they say, "This show is for shit. This show is shit, man. This show is shit." I was too scared to even ask her a question because I was afraid that she was going to dump a pile of poo on me. I don't want to dump a pile of poo on you. I just, never mind that some of the others on my channel at that time were hypercritical of everything I was doing, which was reason that we had to start making changes. Somebody even jokingly said, "You're one of the worst channels on YouTube with the highest number of dislikes." I don't know how true that is, but the point is that that's not a very comfortable thought. That's not what I was aiming for. I'm not aiming to become the Andrew Dice Clay of YouTube. I always was trying to create a good content where we can have some people engage. The show has remained pop-free for over an hour. Yeah, and Pop, he could potentially, one of his hot puppets could show up in our chat, but he's not going to be calling us on the phone. That's definitely not. We're not doing Skype. We're not doing phone calls. We're not doing Discord. Because right now we can't. Because we have to watch our internet plan right now for a few months. We got to start earning back. We got to start putting some money back in our data back in our data stash. Because when we were doing all those crossover streams when Restream.io, that was going against our data stash. So I want to refill my data stash so I can do more things with it. Yeah, well, I'm sure she does. I don't really watch her content. But even so, she's also got a lot more viewers than me. She has a global community that has expanded and extended. Same thing for Vinny G. He's got way more than viewers than me. And part of the reason is his magnetism and the way he talks. He has this type of presence. I can sense I can sense he's a Leo. He's got a showman's presence. You know, where, what am I? I'm an Aquarius with a moon and with a rising sign of Sagittarius and a Leo Leo in the moon and Leo. Okay, that's an interesting twist. Moon and Leo. Rising signs is Ascending sign is Sagittarius. Um, Mercury sign is Pisces, and the in the Capricorn and Venus, and believe it or not, Virgo and Uranus. Yeah, Virgo and Uranus. I know it sounds like a joke. It's not meant to be. Okay, I will leave it for you guys to figure that one out. Maybe that's why my ass is always clean. Your rectum is clean, asshole. Keep it down. God. Would you rather have more viewers and more people disliking you? I rather try to find more people to view it and not necessarily dislike. Because see, here's why. The dislike system on YouTube is butt kiss. What it originally was designed to do, what it was originally for, was for content creators to gauge how the programs are going. So in other words, if you had dislikes on your content, then you know that whatever you changed in your content, people didn't like it. But then when people would just dislike a show and then really give a reason, you had no idea why they were disliked. It used to be that when you disliked something, you had to fill out a survey on YouTube, just like you do on eBay now. So if you say that you're going to give a negative review or negative feedback, they would ask you a series of question marks about why. What did the seller do? I mean, was the item shipped properly? Did the item arrive on time? Was the price reasonable? Was the description good? And you would just answer regardless. Yes, no. You give me stars. How many stars for each? The thing is they used to have that on YouTube. To simplify things, made it even easier for people to abuse the like system. And they did. Because I already explained, Scary, that the problem is that the situation with the YouTube copyright policies, it doesn't mean that I'm totally against having a musical program. We've already ran into trouble with that before. And right now, we just got ourselves back to live streaming in January. We didn't know about it until February, but we didn't. So all those months I was not able to live stream. This channel has suffered because there was no one actually watching it. Because I wasn't putting anything up here. Vlogs, I was doing those on my Welcome to My World. Some I did on here. I moved the North American Snow Queen stuff over to its own channel because I realized since I couldn't live stream here anymore at the time, if I wanted to live stream, it had to be on the other channels. Well, I'm not Simi Prepper, okay? I'm not trying to repeat somebody else's flow. I'm not trying to create somebody else's content. I'm just trying to find my niche where I fit in the systems that we work with every day. And that's important to me. Finding the right content and the right balance so that we can do good things. And like I said, I mean, right now, it's going to be something that's going to take some time. I got to admit, that's kind of a cute joke. Virgo in Uranus. That's what it says on my chart. Virgo and Uranus. Oh God. Oh. Yeah, that's totally weird. Let me just double check that. I think I'm right. Yeah, that's actually what it says. I think because let me go look my chart real quick here because I thought that was kind of hilarious because I first saw that I said, yeah, Virgo and Uranus. Let's see. I want to double check this. I got 3 Virgos in my chart, by the way. I'm not going to skip all the details. Let's see. Michelle. Okay. Let's see. Is my pronoun? Oh, I gotta go back to the screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Mercury is. Wait a minute. This is Patty's chart. Yep. That's Patty's chart. Where's mine? No, this is mine. Wow. Yeah. Okay. My Mercury is in Uranus. My ascending sign is in Sagittarius. My my Venus sign, is my Mars sign is Pisces. That's right. My Jupiter is Virgo. My Saturn sign is Aries, and my Uranus is Virgo. Pluto is also Virgo, which is interesting. So I got a lot of Virgo. I got a lot of Virgo in the 9th house, and my midheaven is Libra. So very interesting. But anyway, just like I said, I just thought that was kind of funny the way that it sounded. Virgo and Uranus. How you doing? Actually, I'm usually live Monday through Friday. Originally, it was at 8 o'clock. We changed the show to 7. That was suggested. But I noticed that most of the people are coming on at 8:23. It's 8:23 p.m. time right now. Most people started to come in about 7:30, 7:45. So, says, well, I still think it was kind of cute. I think you probably would like to have, I don't know. Wouldn't that be kind of fun if you had a squirmy blonde lady in your bed next to you? Which one? The one that will slit my throat or the one that basically probably would slit my twat? I don't know. Oh, dear God. I mean, Patty is very picky. Cute, leggy blonde. Yeah, but very picky. Well, of course, the other one is really happy, friendly, bubbly, kind of fun to be with. But is a socialite and tends to have a lot of friends, and she tends to I think Lorraine would be great for the show because she would actually be willing to be on the show and have a good time because she's not an introvert, whereas Patty's an introvert. So Patty would probably be less likely to be on the show. By the way, Fame, sorry about yanking on your fur glob. He's got this big thing hanging down in his chest. Come on over here. Big matted piece of hair. I gotta get the rest of it off him, but I don't know. It's gonna suck. Michelle, I got to go. I'll talk to you later. I still need to download Discord. Yeah, I do. But just be aware that the Discord is kind of like a friggin' cesspit. So when you get on it, let me do this. Oop, I got it. Poor cat. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got part of it anyway. This is part of the fur that was taken off. I got part of it. Ugh. Yeah. Poor cat. I have to get the rest of it off. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. Um, I never remembered anybody else being like that. That Lorraine is not abusive. I know that. But either way, I'm still trying to get both girls to meet up with me for different reasons. Lorraine wanted to meet up with me because she hadn't seen me in a long time and she kind of missed me. And Patty was going to meet up with me because I wanted to talk to her about trying to smooth things out and try to apologize. But unfortunately, in either case, um, with the soup kitchen being closed, I don't know how we're going to get them to meet up with me individually. I don't know how we're going to get them to meet individually because I'm not going to have them meet together. You see, here's the thing. While Virgos and Pisces are compatible with each other, Pisces and Aquariuses are kind of questionable pairs. But since I know this lady for a long time and I know she's a really nice person, I might be willing to go there. She's smart. She's intelligent. Like I said, she's got long blonde hair. It's bleached like mine is. Yeah, okay. So it's all right. And then says Patty. Except Patty's a natural strawberry blonde redhead. Ah, yeah. Redhead. Spicy. Okay. The only thing is, yeah, her temper is unbelievable. So I don't know what the future holds in life right now. But my thing is for me is just to deal with. Oh my god, that my poor cat. I can't believe this stuff is thick, man. Oh, no wonder I had a hard time getting that man out of his fur. It's just trying to straighten out my cat's hair because he's got this long fur that mats up really bad, and then I end up basically. You see, everybody doesn't realize that I can be just as picky as ever go when it comes to my house. I almost flipped the tree when I saw the cat hair in the couch. I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" I mean, Rusty had so much cat hair in the couch. I was immediately thinking about, get out the goddamn vacuum cleaner. I gotta have to vacuum this thing. But then my leg said, "Nah, I don't want to vacuum." I'm like, "Well, fuck it. You're vacuuming tomorrow then." Because I gotta get that cat hair out of the couch. It's disgusting. So after all, the soup kitchen line for lunch is gonna start at 11:30. So, which means we're gonna be for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna be doing the Facebook streams in the living room. Or I could just forego them and just do them on this computer, upload the streams to YouTube, and then send the link to Facebook, which I like we're doing now. We could do that too. Makes sense. Makes sense, right? Yeah, we could do that. It's just not really the way I wanted to do it. But you know what? You can't help it. Hey, you're trying to make the right decisions. You're trying to you got to keep in mind the fact that health and safety and all the other bullshit that comes around with the business. So, okay, I've done enough talking, but if you guys have any questions, this is your chance. I really would like to hear from you. What do you got to say? What things have you been thinking about? What's your concerns? I'm going to fix my microphone because I didn't really clip this thing on my clothes very well. So, does anybody have any questions? I mean, do you guys had anything that you were wondering about, maybe about how is small towns like Winston going to deal with COVID-19? I honestly, I don't know. Why don't you or your mods block the mean people? Originally, we didn't block the mean people because they were yelling censorship, fascist, and we didn't want them to go out there and tell their friends that we're being fascist or censoring people because they think we're being mean. So we originally didn't block them because we wanted them to know that we were willing to at least listen to what they had to say. But they took advantage of that, and it caused a lot of emotional distress. And so after I worked with Patty on this, we both kind of came up to grips with the one reality she said to me is, you're going to have to seriously crack down on these people because they're destroying your head. They're destroying your spirit, and they're destroying your show. And I actually could not disagree with her. I actually said, you're right, they are. But they keep calling me a fascist. And she said, well, first of all, you're not a fascist. And second thing is I don't like the way that they're destroying your spirit. That's not the Michele I remember. That's not the Michele I loved. Knowing as many years ago, you lost that loving feeling because of what they did to you. And that's why I don't want you on the internet, is because of the damage that they did to you. But deep down, I know you love doing the show. Well, there's your answer to why new people are scared to date. Right, and that's why we're trying to change that. That's why we're trying to change that. So we're now taking a more proactive approach to dealing with the problem. And I'm still hoping one day I'm going to be able to get some new co-hosts on the show. But that's another thing that these bad people did, was they drove the co-host crazy. The point was the co-host didn't really want to deal with them either. So it wasn't just the audience that was afraid to type. It was the co-host that would be sitting there reading the comments and feel like they didn't want to speak up because of reprisals. So, and I got a feeling if I ever do find a co-host on the show again, it's going to have to be a person that's going to, I need someone like Patty, because Patty is the kind of person who is very, very strong-willed and will tell you where it's like, and she will not back down. But she's not a public person. She's very private. So I don't think you're going to ever see Patty on the show, not unless she has a moon in Leo. I happen to have moon in Leo in my chart. So even though I'm an Aquarius, I'm normally a very quiet person, it's the moon in Leo that makes it me more likely in a comfortable small group setting or in a home setting, because this is where my studio is, to be willing to come out and talk more and be more willing to have a little fun than if I was like in a major auditorium. Because in the major auditorium, I get very nervy. I don't like being in large groups of people in an auditorium. I don't get stage fright. It's just that I feel very, very anxious in big rooms, big crowds of people. Well, at least here on YouTube, I can do a show and it's in a comfortable setting. I'm sitting in my studio, looking at the microphone, looking at the YouTube chats, and looking at the likes dislike ratios and how many people are viewing it, and then based on what I'm seeing, try to respond to the questions. Step, I am a Leo, July 29th, 1985. Okay. And by the way, my ascending sign is also Sagittarius, which is very interesting. Leos enjoy being in the limelight. A sun sign of Leo, which means is the lion, right? He's comfortable in front of the cameras. He's comfortable on social media because he loves being in that setting. He loves performing arts. But a standard Aquarius is not going to do that unless he's got Leo in his chart. And if he does, then like I do, yeah, he's willing to go out of his way to talk more if it's the right environment. It's funny because I looked at Patty's chart. She has Moon in Aries, of all things. She's got an Aries in her moon. And I'm like, oh, why aren't you on the show? I mean, you got Aries, you got fire, and you could come on here. You could seriously, make a presence. But she says, I don't like to be on camera. I don't like being on the. I'm a quiet person. I prefer working in the background. So, you got that. So what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna drag her. I'm not gonna, try to force her into the studio. I mean, that's not comfortable. But I got a feeling Lorraine would probably be more than willing to come on camera and would be very well liked by a large portion of the audience. And it'll be good for me because Lorraine is a positive energy and makes people feel good. She's funny, she's bubbly, she's nice. She's a Pisces, okay? So she has that special energy that people like with Pisces. Compare that to Cancer, which can be very difficult to work with sometimes. I'm not shy on camera, but I am very, very leery of letting my personal information let out. Right. And Patty's both shy on camera, does not have any photographs of Patty. There's no photographs of Patty at all. I got one shot of her, and she erased it. I had one shot, which we showed from Maureen DeFranco's, that somebody would manage to put into a milk carton somewhere. But to get her a whole, beautiful pose portrait would be more complicated than going for a root canal at a dentist. I don't kid you not when I say that, because she's definitely very private. She's not comfortable having her presence on the internet. She does not have her pictures anywhere. She has no photographs of family. She has no photographs of friends. She has no photographs of me. She has. She didn't want me on social media. She does not want me to potentially show pictures of her house. It's like, wow, really, really, really private concern and privacy. But then again, given all the nature of the damage that had been done over the years by people, stalkers and paparazzis and things like that, and social media and TMZ and other shows, I can certainly see why. Current affair, etc., etc., etc. So sure, she's not going to go out there and be willing to be on camera because she doesn't want people to start, doing photoshops and creating memes, whatever you pronounce the word. It's funny, the word is pronounced memes when it's actually spelled meme or meme. What the hell? Leave it at that. Anyway, so that's the reason I'm very careful. No, her family didn't leave her. She's got her family, her grandchildren, and her children do love them. Do love her mother. Do love their mother a lot. They, I don't think, want to be in her day-by-day life no more than my family wants to be in my day-by-day life. Her sister is abusive too, so her sister is a Taurus. Yeah, two earth signs, a Taurus and a Virgo. I have a friend who's a Taurus, and that's it. And he's a great guy. I pulled up his compatibility trait with mine, and I saw the score, and I said, it's too bad I didn't marry him, because he originally proposed me about 20 years ago to marry him. And we talked about it, not too long ago. And he said, well, I understand the reason why, because at the time I wasn't really stable in my housing. I said, you're still not stable in your housing. He says, no, I'm not. And I said, and I didn't know if it was going to work in the long term because of many things that you have to deal with in your life that I can't help you with. So I basically was very nice to Ed, and we had a great time. We talked about it. We explained the situation about why it was never going to work, and that to me was a very honest show. But I will say this much: is Patty ever going to find happiness in her life, or is she going to remain your typical hermit Virgo for the rest of her life? I don't know. Maybe she could find a Virgo guy at her age. Maybe that'd be a possibility. Okay. Ed is a good guy. You gripped and complained back when Sherry was on the show about Ed making you fit his beer. And, well, yeah. That was the reason I chose not to marry Ed, was because of the alcoholic runs. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have to keep getting beer from him. But that doesn't mean he was a bad guy. It was just the alcohol issue. That was the only thing that with me was a real, and I explained that to him. I said, that's a real letdown. Because we got along overall. It's just that well, that's why I'm hoping that me and Lorraine can actually work it out. Because it sounds like Lorraine wants to potentially move forward in something more than just friends. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. I'm not OCD about Patty. But I bet you anything, dollars to donuts, that Patty is OCD about me. Because that's what they do. Interesting name. Yeah. I don't know how Toy Talkers came up with the name Toy Talkers. I don't know the backstory about that. Maybe he might tell you how did you come up with the name Toy Talkers? Toy Talkers. How did you come up with the name? Oh, okay, there you go. You collect vintage toys. Do you ever have any problem getting some of the older mechanical toys from the in the early plastics from the early 70s keep working? Like a lot of the motorized toys from the 70s with the plastics they were using. Do you repair and restore them? Because I know that some of the plastic parts and some of the toys in the 60s and early 70s were actually known to crack and break. Do you refurbish, restore them, or you just collect them? Actually, Ed has a girlfriend now. He has two girlfriends. He's kind of in the same boat I'm in. I don't know anything about the science of his two girlfriends. He's got two girlfriends. So he's trying to decide which one he likes more. I have a cool steam engine. What do you mean by steam engine? Do you mean it actually runs on steam, like a live steam engine that runs on live steam? Like, I know that there was some engines that were being made as kits back for scientific purposes that were like models of actual working steam engines. They usually use like a little energy pellets or energy sticks that burn like fuel. He's actually got one girl that's kind of doing more than just getting him beer. I think they are really close, and I think that he's let's just put it this way. He's having a good time with her. Okay. The other one he's having questions about. Yeah, you use matchsticks as fire and boils the water, and then it goes. Matchsticks. Only thing is, matchsticks don't burn that long. For the amount of energy that you have to put in, even on the little the ones I've seen, they use something like a solid fuel, or fuel pellets that you'll light and you put in your little firebox to produce the energy to make it boil the water. No, I don't know why you're not blocked, but we do ask you to be polite, courteous. Well, I'm all fairness. Last time Ed was on, he seemed more clear and gave good advice. And stuff that people says, "Wow, do you ever upload videos, Toy Talkers?" Yeah, do you have on your channel? Do you show people some of your vintage toys and vintage items? Because I don't really have any vintage stuff like that. I mean, if I had some of the toys I had from the 70s and 80s, I mean, that'd be kind of fascinating. Okay, I ended up with a lot of my sister's Barbie stuff. That's true. She didn't care about Barbie. I didn't mind. I had the Barbie. We had the Barbie dream house. I had the elevator in that one. I had the Barbies. I collected them. I also collected boys' toys too. I had like G.I. Joes. I had a little bit of everything, Legos. I had almost anything you can imagine as toys. On Discord and blocked me. I didn't even say anything. Yeah. Mention that's cool. So much. And then Toy Talk says too much risk of being robbed. Actually, you can buy those model steam kits. They actually have one that runs with electric power. If you want something that doesn't have to involve using a combustible fuel, there's the same kit from the same manufacturer. They still make them in China now. That they have electric heaters in them. They also still got the one that used the fuel pellets. Also, the shoot, what is that one steam engine? There's a live steam HL model train. What was it, Hornby? No, not Hornby. I'll have to remember which one it is. The live steam engine. They make a real live steam engine, but it uses electric boiler to heat the water. And so, just like a real steam engine, you got to fill it with water and lubricant, and it runs on the track. You control the speed by adjusting the wand of fire and damper and throttle, and it runs. It's electrically heated, so it's really kind of cool. I wanted to get one so bad. It had $700 for the price of the American kit. You really want to have a real live steam engine flying around on your HO track at $700? That thing was expensive. 1940s British metal cars. And it says, yeah, but the original from the 1930s, it was an epic. That's cool. I don't know where. Good evening. Good seeing everybody can support this channel. Much with Michelle. I don't know where. First of all, no, right now you're not blocked at this point, but because I forgot to block them. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll unblock you in the other chats. But there is something out on the wire that, we don't know if you're a friend or foe, because you went ahead and on one side you're saying is I really care about Michelle, and then you go on to the other dark Discord, and then we find out that you're sitting here bad mouthing Michelle, and it's like, are you a friend or a foe? Because we were lost. We couldn't figure out anything that you were doing. I mean, were we friend or foe? We didn't know anymore. We got lost because it was like one side, oh, I don't really give a shit about you. And then on the other side, you're saying you care. And then we don't know what you were thinking. I was collecting larger toys, those metal pedal cars, but I ran out of storage space in the basement. Oh yeah, I know the cars. Yeah, I actually one of my cousins had one. They had both a tractor you rode like a bicycle, and they had like a little kitty car you got into, and they had pedals in the bottom and a steering wheel using a simple mechanical rack companion type system to move ahead. Really cool. In my case, I only had like a tricycle, but that was fine. I used to ride a little tricycle along with my sister around the rec room in the basement of my parents' house in East Heartland. We used to really cruise around that basement. It's just fun for us. We don't even unblock me. You clearly don't want to be my friend. You're one who had a bad friend at me. Well, if I was a bad friend, why are you here? I mean, why did you come here? You obviously came here for a reason. You obviously wanted to be part of the show. So why don't you just get off your pity pot and just have a good time on the show instead of basically trying to keep reminding everybody about all the things that were wrong with the universe and just have a good time? That would be much better. We're having a good conversation, talking about kids, toys, growing up, and what's wrong with that? What did you do for a kid? What kind of fun things did you have? Like I said, before we had all this modern day video game stuff, we had all kinds of mechanical toys. I had Legos, like I said. I had girder and panel. I had Barbies. I had GI Joes. Oh my God, I had everything. I even had a little easy bake oven, I think, too. I was really, yeah, I did. And then I do know about the easy bakes in the 70s, ones that looked like freaking microwaves. It wasn't what we had. It was the older type of easy bake. It was just something that we would do. Fire trucks, oh yeah, especially with the ladder trucks. Yeah, they were cool because they did go up pretty far. Even in the little kid ones, like you could crank up the sucker, the ladder, and extend the ladder. Yeah, it was actually kind of cool. I always liked those. The one I remember, you could almost go up 36 inches on a kid's fire truck. I mean, for a kid's fire truck, that was pretty amazing, you know. Right. Yes, we have 25 likes today. Oh, we had 25, went to 24. Please put a like in the like jar, guys. Come on. It's not going to kill you. We're trying to have a good show. We're trying to come up with something that's going to be more what the audience likes to talk about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh, did you see the bright side? No, it wasn't bright side. It was I have to remember. It wasn't bright side. On when the guy, an adult, he always wanted to ride on Jeep as a kid. A Jeep Wrangler, right? And then the same show, an older guy wanted moon shoes. And these two adults got their shit. The guy with the moon shoes really made me cry. As he was like a little 12-year-old looking in the box. He's like, "Is this for me? Is this for me?" I was like, "Oh wow, this looks like fun." Because he's an adult now. He's like, "Oh wow, let's see. I gotta figure out how many elastics to put in here." And he's just like boing, 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 boing. It's going all over the room in the studio. So fuck, that looks like fun. He almost went through the window, almost went through the door. Because he almost lost his balance. He said, "I've always wanted these three kids, but my mom said they were too dangerous." He said, "No, I can see why, but they're still fun." The guy that wanted the Jeep, This guy is, they're both adults. And they've got their toys and their dreams. He said, I always wanted one of these. He said, but my parents never could afford one. Okay. And he says, as he's putting this cheap regular toy together, he's like, it's funny because I had a real Jeep just like this, and I had to sell it because I was between jobs. He says, so in a way, for me as an adult, this is giving me closure, like for two reasons. One, I got the Jeep of my dreams as a kid that get to ride a cheap toy for an adult. And he's zipping around. He said to the kid, can I take the seat outside? I want to ride it in the driveway and in the parking lot. So he's zipping around the parking lot. They're talking about an adult guy zipping around this toy Jeep. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Just was having a kick-ass good time. And I'm like, what did I ever want as a kid? Believe it or not, I like two things I wanted as a kid. Number one, I wanted the Barbie camper. I know what you're going to say. The Barbie camper? It's kind of boring, isn't it? No, it was cute because my cousins had it. It had a pop-out tent on the side. It was really cool. You could put your Barbie and your Ken in there, and it looks like a Class A motorhome. You just they can sit in the front, and they could be driving, on your imaginary road. They were just cool. I mean, awesome. I love that kind of stuff. Oh, lawn darts. My relatives did have lawn darts. The real sharp, pointy ones, not the toy ones they got now. No, these are the real monsters with the sharp tips on them bad boys. Oh my God. I could see why parents were terrified of them. Because, number one, if you're talking about like 13-year-old kids, then we were throwing them things around like nothing, Well, of course, we all understood they had sharp, pointy tips on them, so it was like, stay the hell away from these, okay? Get way back. But if the wind took them wrong, you're going to still have a potential danger because the wind could just still flip them back at you, and all of a sudden you're going to duck and cover because, those tips were sharp, I can tell you. Right, plastic toys do degrade. Right, and yes, they can. I have full 6 sets, the ones that stupid kids kept killing each other with because they couldn't aim. There was the kids who not following the safety instructions. You're expecting a 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old boy to follow safety instructions? You really thought a 7 to 9-year-old boy was going to follow safety instructions? No. Back then, kids were playing around with chemistry sets with some really nasty, noxious chemicals in them, too. The Gilbert chemistry sets. They even had the uranium lab. I couldn't believe that they actually had real uranium in the nuclear physics, or in the chemistry set for nuclear physics. I'm like, Gilbert, where the hell did you get this shit? They were dealing with noxious chemicals. Oh, yeah, if you used them right, you'd be okay. But your typical kid wasn't likely to. This definitely was the time of the Darwin Awards. Let me put it this way. You got careless. You're going to find out what happens when you mix the wrong chemicals together. And there's not going to be there was no extra safety warnings. So some of the stuff didn't really come with a lot of safety. The Consumer Safety Protection came in later on and pointed out that some of these early toys are dangerous. But now you got toys coming in from China that are just as dangerous and just as nasty. That are often banned every year. That's true. Beanie Babies, zero violation, yeah. But even in the 1950s, before moms started working, there was more parental supervision. Yeah. Well, it's because moms were in the home. Your mom and your dad were busy doing their own thing. But you're right. kids back in the 50s were more. I think kids back then had a little more common sense, honestly, because I don't think. Just on my microphone here. I don't think that those kids back then, most of them, were as careless as today's kids would be. Give a modern kid, a modern young man or woman, an easy bake oven that doesn't have safety guards in them. You probably have a lot of burnt fingers, that's for sure. Because they're used, everything is going to be cool to the touch and plastic. The original easy bake ovens were plastic, yes, but the really early kids' ovens were not. We're talking about the 30s. These ovens were made out of metal. They had one guy actually totally restored one close to original manufacturer's colors and everything. It had an actual honest to God heating element inside, and it would heat up the top of the oven, on top of the stove in the oven, and he could actually bake a cake in there. And he actually bakes a little tiny cake in there, and that would be like the original Easy Bake, which was definitely not safe by today's design. Of course, he did update it with a modern 3-pin electrical cord with earth pin, but still, it was amazing to see how he was able to restore this thing back to what it looked like back when it was brand new. I bet some young boy or girl that played with that oven back then, you damn well needed oven mitts to grab that guy. Because that was an exposed heating element underneath that, inside that box. So it was like a little, both, okay. Yes, things throughout the day to remember when we were kids, no seatbelts, and 2 parents smoking and with the windows up. I'll keep the rear shelf. I'd sleep on the rear shelf of the back. Then we would go on vacation. I remember that. I used to sleep in the back of the station wagon, or my brother would sleep in on the back seat. I would sleep in the back, far back of the station wagon. Yeah. Both of my parents smoked. It was like a bar in that car, and draw in the smoke. Didn't need an iPad to draw. There was an auction in London every 5 years just for antique toys. I've gone twice. Yeah. But I certainly understand what you're saying about the memories and toys. It's the same thing with, like, I collect a lot of other things too. I love collecting telephones. And, I love the old Model 500. Hell, we all grew up with the Model 500. Who didn't grow up with a big, heavy, lacquer, black desk telephone with a big, heavy metal finger wheel? Yeah, I used to have a couple of. I do have a Model 500 sitting in the pantry, but it's not. It's got a plastic finger wheel on it. I lost the metal one. Somebody used it and they never gave it back to me. I wanted to get another one, but it was like, let me try to get my other things I need to deal with life first, and then I'll go buy another phone. It's just me. But yes, I do remember. Oh, and don't forget to remember old RCA TVs before the ones with the digital remotes that we have today. That used to use ultrasonics instead, and the remote was this big, thick hockey or a big, fat beast that sat on a table. Because my uncle had a TV that used one of those old color track remotes. That thing was a monster. He was using it up until he died. It was still working as good as the day he got it. The station wagons and doors would fly open randomly. Kids would just get up and get back in the car. British telephone, that thing weighs a ton. Oh yeah, the original GPL phones are heavy. Original Model 500 Western Electrics ain't no light slouches either, because they use some heavy metal in those things, both kinds. Talk about heavy metal phones. They were heavy. Both the GPO British Telecom and the Western Electric phones were monsters. And they were. But they still, a lot of the phones are actually still in service. A lot of homes out on the rural homestead, you might see a couple of 500s still being used, and maybe even some of the old GPO phones might be still be used in the UK or Ireland. Why not, right? If it works, why would you want to change it? No one actually really saw a reason to replace the phone. If it works for you, it works for you. That's the way it is. You don't change what works. You change what don't. At least that's the way we thought back then. Doesn't mean that's the way it is now. The TV head was huge, and you could get God knows what Kansas standing next to you. Of course, the channel now broke the 5 years, so he put in players in it. Yeah, we had a couple TVs like that too. Trying to deal with the fine tuning though was a nightmare. When we had a rooftop antenna, we had a rotor box, and my mom and dad had a rooftop antenna, but the rooftop antenna rotor was broken, so we just basically used rapid ears instead. We lived in an area that got excellent TV reception, so we really didn't need to use the rooftop antenna because our TV reception was fantastic, even with rapid ears. That really got me interested in audio video because I'm like, whoa, I can see pictures from somewhere else? This is a 3-year-old thinking this. How in the hell does that work? How does pictures from some place far away come into our home? And that was what got me interested in the sciences in the audio video field. I was like, this is totally cool. Of course, I know the answer now, but you know what? It still does blow my mind when you realize you're dealing with analog NTSC. How does it keep the picture from turning into a big garbled pile of mess? Well, I learned as I grew older that it doesn't always, because sometimes you lose things like the subcarrier, the color burst signal, and then the picture goes from color to black and white and stuff. Or the picture would be clear for a second, and all of a sudden the picture turns into a pile of snow, like a blizzard. And you're like, how in the hell did that do that? It's just amazing to think about it. Yeah. Of course, my grandfather had a rooftop antenna. That was the bomb. That guy he'd get TV reception all the way from Providence, Rhode Island. He'd get TV channels all the way from Poughkeepsie, New York. I mean, he was getting them all, man. I think occasionally could possibly get some Pennsylvanians that came to New Jersey if he really tried. He got it from New York City, too. All you had to do was turn the magic rotor knob, and you could choose your state you wanted to get channels from. I used to love that. Oh, I want to watch New York today. So I turn the antenna south, and there are all my New York channels: 2, 4, 7, 11, 5. Let's go watch Boston. So I turn it towards Boston. There's all my Boston channels: 38, 4, 2. I don't think they had an 8, did they? No, they didn't even have a 7. Well, okay. They could probably pick up some. You want to go to Springfield? Turn to Springfield. 22, 40. A few other small channels. It was just a trip. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, guys, this is the kind of show that I wanted to try to do more of. Please don't forget to put a like in the tip jar. If you want to see these shows continue, if you want to see the kind of content, this is the kind of stuff I like to do, where we can have fun and talk about good stuff. This is what people like. How are you doing? We were just having a good time talking about things as we used to be back in the 70s and the 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I can go all the way back to 50s, actually. 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, where rooftop antennas were king, rapid ears were great, and you got TV channels up the wazoo in many areas. And toys that basically, were lasted lifetimes. And that was the truth. Those days were fun. And the cartoons back then. Oh, yes. Snagglepuss, Yogi Bear, um, Schmedley, um, let's see. Oh my God, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Tom and Jerry. Oh yeah, those cartoons are awesome. Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, all kinds of good stuff. We used to watch a lot of cartoons, and we always had a good time as kids. And we knew there were cartoons, and we knew that cartoon physics didn't work in real life. At least most of us did. I never knew any kid actually who thought seriously that if you walk off a cliff that you'd be seriously standing up there and you basically hold up a sign that says, "Oh no." That would have been funny. I'd be like, for the Wile E. Coyote, why did you even bother to put a sign up that says, "Oh no," or "Look down"? You should have just basically walked across the doggone cliff instead of looking down. I do love the physics behind the episode he did on Mythbuster about Wile E. Coyote's blowing his own sail. That was fun. Blowing your own sail. That was actually tested by Mythbusters that it is possible, but very wasteful to do. You're blowing your own sail for a lot of reasons. It just turns out really wasn't blowing anything. All it was doing was the fan would just be blowing the wind, and then it would deflect off the sail, which would act like a big reflector and then send it right to the back. That's how you were literally blowing your own sail. And then they decided to ante it up, and they actually put an actual model jet engine on the back, doing the same thing with a jet engine. And they had to change the sail to something other than cloth because otherwise it would have burnt. That was amazing too. In that case, cartoon physics did work. Just amazing stuff to think about. How much we grew up and did all this stuff as kids. Unfortunately, things that today's kids will never know. They will never know what it was like. Basically, get a box of toys. In my case, it was the 1960s, 70s. There was actually a time when the plastic was coming in. The beginning of we got to make the toys safer for kids instead of having die-cast metal toys. Because parents are like, well, I don't want little Johnny getting mad at little Susie and smashing her in the head with his little die-cast toy engine from his train set. Yeah, we've actually had some actual wind-up die-cast metal train engines, and he also, of course, had Lionel engines post-war and pre-war. We had one pre-war that was kind of interesting. It was heavy as hell, but for Lionel engines, that made sense. Mark's toy engines. They were the tin plate kings. They did a lot of tin plate with Mark's. But then like later on, like everybody else, they started doing plastic injection molding and all that. And we have actually helped Ed try to get a lot of them older engines working. Back then, those Lionel and Mark's engines were AC motors, and we called them the growlers. Because that's how they sound when you were going at low speed, like a real diesel. Which kind of made sense if it was a toy diesel, but if it's a steam engine, hearing a little engine growling along made no sense at all. Because it wouldn't be really growling in real life; they'd be going very slow chuffing sound. But those were just the times we did fun things. We didn't just do seriousness stuff. We had fun as kids. We just did. Well, speaking of fun, it's been a nice show, guys. I have to admit, it was a good Friday night. We got a chance to get a good time. We got people on the show. We talked about fun stuff, and everybody was having a good time. And I think that was a great thing. It was just This is the kind of show I like to have. This is something where I can, it's a Friday. You don't need to have a show where basically you need to basically take a Friday off from dealing with the Friday on the show. You could just go out there and have a great time, and that's what we like to do. So everybody, I just want to say we have our live show tomorrow. It will be at what time is it going to be? I think it's going to be at 1. Yeah, 1 o'clock. Well, unfortunately, let me remind everybody before I forget, if you're in the Winston area of the Soup Kitchen, please keep in mind that they will not be having people coming in to the Soup Kitchen dining room to eat. Rather, you'll go into the door to get your takeout meals. So that means, just like it sounds like, if you want to have your nice dinners, let's see. Let's just put out the calendar here. Yeah, it's a 1 p.m. tomorrow. So you go to the door and you'll give you your meal and you take it with you at home, and then you cook up in the microwave or whatever you're going to cook it on. It's today was the last of the actual dining meals. Tomorrow will be takeout, and they're going to be doing that for about 2 weeks. I just hope to God that the Soup Kitchen doesn't end up seeing that go to a colossal waste and then say, well, no one came, so why are we going to bother to try it? It doesn't make any sense, so let's just screw it and just close for 2 weeks. I hope not. But you know what? I don't know. I was supposed to meet up, hopefully, with Lorraine and Patty in a couple of days. Lorraine neither want to give me a confirmed day or time, so I don't know when. But like I told both of them, I said, the Soup Kitchen's not going to actually have the dining room open, so we would have to meet somewhere else. And I asked them, I said, do you guys have any ideas? Because I sure don't. I mean, Lorraine, I think, has a car, and I think she could probably meet me or pick me up. And we could go to some other place to eat lunch or something. She lives in Torrington. So does Patty, by the way. But Patty has no car. So I don't know. Patty would be dependent on the bus. But is the bus running on next week? I have no idea. I got to find out that information. But for now, we've been on the air for 2.5 hours, and that's been a very good show. And I want you to have a nice weekend. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to do it just like this. We're going to do the same kind of contest. We're not going to use Restream because we got to watch our P's and Q's. And besides that, there's another reason to stream on Facebook too, because Facebookers can come right over here on YouTube. Yes, they can. They can come right to YouTube. They don't need to go have their own separate stream, which might simplify our lives. It would certainly simplify our lives. Now, in case some of you are going to ask me, and someone else always does, when are you going to change this top? Soon. We're going to, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, who knows. Obviously, since we're not going to be going to the Soup Kitchen to eat, I don't know what we're going to be doing in the next 2 weeks, but we'll see. All right, guys. Good night now. Have a nice night. Enjoy your weekend. See you tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Oh, by the way, my arm is still sore. I know. It's getting up there. She's raising it up. See? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Have a nice night. Bye-bye, guys.